So here we are in our second match. You're fortunate enough to win the die roll again, and this hand is nice. Well, it'd be a lot nicer if we had another untapped land. Looks like a situation where we're probably going to be playing Smoldering Marsh on turn 1, and Mountain Copter on turn 2. Turn 3 we'll be able to play Bomat Courier, and potentially Fiery Temper as well. Would be pretty decent. Pretty decent indeed. Man, I'd love it if my opponent played a Grim Player here. Deathcap Cultivator, that's not something I expected. I still want to kill it though. And now Liliana will be a little bit of a beating, but take a dead weight. Now the Grim Player comes out. Is pretty nice. Some serious card advantage there. My Smuggler's Copter each time was just draw a card and pay, like, cast something else for a reduced cost. Really pretty nice. And I'm going to be able to play Pia and Bomat Courier, which means I get to attack with the Bomat Courier, and Pia will be able to crew the Copter. So I'm going to be able to get an attack for 6. Upcoming turn. Be pretty good. My opponent should be hitting Delirium soon. And with that, Ishkana is going to be something that I have to worry about. But I can't really be helped. If my opponent doesn't have a way to kill Pia or give Grimflayer ooh. So I think that there's a good chance that if I kill the Grimflayer, my opponent won't be able to have Delirium for Ishkana right away. So my opponent would need land and Ishkana. Even still, I don't think I want to let him filter his draw that much. I think what I'm going to do, play my Pia through the Copter. And So I'm not discarding the Bomat Courier because I don't want to reveal that I have access to Lightning Axe. If I discard a 1-mana spell and then don't use anything with my 1 mana, that makes that pretty clear. So I'm going to try to block with my Pia, and then if my opponent uses a removal spell, then I'll Lightning Axe. So that way I get as much value as possible. And then best case scenario, I don't even need to use my Lightning Axe here, and I can save it for when I have a, something better. Alright, so now my opponent has Delirium. I'm gonna do this. 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 And if my opponent has, Ishkana, he still needs a land, so... Hopefully, my opponent doesn't just slam land Ishkana. There's the land. Is this Ishkana? Traverse! Nice. I wonder what he can get. I feel like you need to get, like, Kalitas. Mind Rack Demon. I'm gonna kill that. Alright, sweet. We're gonna win this game. Oodalolly. Got him for Xaxes. Alright, so... there's a chance that this is like the aggro version. No, it's not the aggro version. It's called the Deadweights. So if this was the aggro version, I would not want Key to the City and Lost Legacy. But I think that this is our opponent is playing the dedicated Delirium version that wants to go up to Emrakul. So I think I probably want all the Key to the Cities and Lost Legacies. 4 Key to the Cities is kind of insane. I think 3 should be plenty. And then the cards that I don't want probably can do without the couriers. Chandra's actually looking kind of nice. I think we're going to do this. I think this is what I want to do. Could also consider the Transgress the Minds. Fire Temper actually looks super medium in this matchup. I don't think I want the Fire Tempers at all. I do want these 2 Transgresses. And I feel like the Key to the City is for this matchup. But I think we're just going to go for 1 Dark Dweller. 5 mana spells are tough. No, I have actually been getting pretty close to 5 mana. My opponent does have an early Grim Flayer, though. We're going to be in serious trouble. But I think that's just kind of going to be the way it goes. We're just going to try to focus on winning all the games. My opponent doesn't have turn 2 Grim Flayer. this hand is great. My opponent does play Grim Flayer here. It might actually be worth it for me to consider trying to run a block on it, but don't have to worry about that question anymore. Ooh, Oath of Nissa. I love this card. It's like Ponder. Alright, so Grim Flayer's been acquired. Wow, and for a draw that's a little on the land heavy side, not only do we have our Grim Flayer, but we have an unlicensed Disintegration to go with it. That's really good for us. And I think I would want to just... I should get my 3 damage first. In case my opponent has Natural State. I do want to go after this guy right away. Blossoming Defense. Wow, so this is 100% the aggro version. Alright, so I hope I don't draw the Lost Legacies. Or the other things. Wow, that was brutal. Burgess Gerhulk. So I definitely didn't sideboard properly. That said, the way my hand's set up right now, it, like, looks alright, but my opponent can put a lot of power and toughness onto the board, and things might get difficult. Especially if he has a Mind Rack Demon here. Actually, bad. Well, I know what I have to use Unlicensed Disintegration on. Jump blocking Grim Flayers also just doesn't really work out. Really hard. I sideboarded in a way so that I wouldn't lose, or I'd be able to beat. Yeah, well, I just messed up everything. Kind of hard to tell. Fair. We've got a few options here. So if my opponent attacks, I think that I'm not going to block and just hope that he doesn't have a Blossoming Defense. Because if he has a Blossoming Defense, 6. So if my opponent has Blossoming Defense, that means I will be at 2. Or if I block with the Goblin Dark-Dwellers and my opponent had Blossoming Defense, I'll be at 4. And I really have no good way of blocking these Grim Flayers. So if my opponent's able to put up any blocker, Actually, if my opponent puts up a blocker, I can still kill him. He would need more than one blocker. Because I can have Pia sacrifice the Copter to make something not be able to block. And then pump up Scrapheap Scrounger. Oh no, I'd be one short. I don't think I can win on my upcoming turn if my opponent has, like, without the Goblin Dark-Dweller. So I'm just going to take it, and I'll lose to Bossing Defense. Alright, sweet. Hopefully my opponent doesn't play something like Ishkana, but most certainly the worst is over. And maybe we can win this turn. We'll see what he has. That was a good move. Also a good move. Top deck Pia would actually do it, but now I'm just completely dead. There's nothing I can do. Alright, so now that I know what the heck is going on, Transgress the Mind, Lost Legacy, you are out of here. Key to the City, also out of here. This deck usually doesn't play like any Lilianas, so I think I want my Bomat Couriers. Goblin Dark-Dwellers I think is a little too slow for the matchup, but maybe not. I think a small number of Fiery Temper is fine. I guess the Fiery Tempers can like pair with things. They're just like good with how my deck works. I do want extra copies of Unlicensed Disintegration on Lightning Axe, but I think that I'd rather just have the synergy component of the Fiery Tempers. But yeah, we're gonna run with this, and hopefully it works out better for us. This hand is nice. 1 drop, 2 drop, 2 drop. This Unlicensed Disintegration just completes the hand. Her opponent tries to play a blocker. Basically got him. If he doesn't, you can just keep playing more stuff. Oh, got it all. Got it all. Our opponent's catching up, but I still think our opponent definitely had what he needed this game to keep up. So I would rather not lose my Unlicensed Disintegration, so don't really have any intention of sacrificing my Bomat Courier, but the Bloodhall Priest will allow me to I'll get like the madness off. It would be sweet. So I could get a Scrapheap Scrounger back now, and then before my draw step, I could sack the Courier and put the Bloodhall Priest into play, and I'm pretty sure it would shoot the player for 2. Pretty sure I can do that. Although I could also just get the Scrounger back now, and then untap, Unlicensed Disintegration and attack, and then get another card underneath my Courier. Still have the Bloodhall Priest in the tank. I think that I'd rather do that. Very nice. Very, 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 very nice. That is just gross. Totally, totally gross. Man, this deck is nice. Holy cow. Powerful tempo plays for days. This is a game where my opponent had 2 1-mana removal spells, and then a 3-mana removal spell that gained him life. I'm just kicking butt. And my Bomat Courier, it can draw me up to 4 cards. I'm going to lose the Unlicensed Disintegration, but the only reason I'm going to lose my Bomat Courier is if my opponent tries to use a removal spell on it. Yeah, this is just... Like, now that we're at this point, there's like no way my opponent can come back. Not without Ishkana. That's going to get unlicensed. Boom! You're dead. Right, we won.